Hello, welcome to a Lopez Power Lopez review. Now I know I haven't been on my YouTube channel in a while. I've kind of got busy because of college and I've just been kind of lazy. I haven't really had any motivation, but now I kind of do. I'm not going to really review a movie, I'm going to review movies. Now, they're going to be kind of quick. This could be kind of a long one. I would say it could be like over 30 minutes, maybe to an hour. I don't know. I can't see the future. But anyway, this particular vlog or video is going to be about the time period of Disney, known as the Disney Renaissance. Now, I love Disney. I love Pixar. I'm a big animation guy, you know. And the past couple years, in my opinion, aren't great of animation, but I like them fine, especially from Disney. I'm not a big Frozen fan, but I think it's a fine movie. But my favorite time period is the Disney Renaissance for many people. For the millennial generation, this is probably their favorite decade of Disney as well. I was born in '98. So I was born at the very end of the Disney Renaissance, you know. The last one's Tarzan. I was born the year Mulan came out. Mulan came out the year before Tarzan, so I was born almost at the very end of the Renaissance, end of the era. Um, but, you know, I still grew up with these movies. I still grew up with Little Mermaid, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and they're very nostalgic to me. They're probably the part of Disney I've seen the most. Um, it's just, you know, everything was great about that era. The music, the animation. It was return to form. See, Disney is kind of defined by eras from 1937 with their feature-length animation. With their feature-length animation, they're kind of defined by eras. Um, they're very much like the first from 1937 to 1967 was considered the golden age of Disney. It was a time period that lasted 30 years. It was considered the golden age, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Jungle Book. And that's when when Walt was alive and they were very successful, came out with, you know, the classics that are like in the AFI Top 100 and stuff. And then after that, we got the dark age of Disney. Now, this is after Walt died, and their movies panned by critics and all that. Really, the only like popular movie that came out of the Disney Dark Age was Winnie the Pooh, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. But even those were shorts written during the golden age of Disney, but they're just kind of compiled into a feature-length movie. So no wonder it's the most, highly looked out of the movies. But that spans from 70 to 88 between the Aristocats and Oliver and Company. Now, I personally don't hate the movies of the Dark Age. Even Black Cauldron, there's things I appreciate about that movie. I appreciate the level of like the grandness to it, like the look of the animation. I like the widescreen look. Kind of reminds me of Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, but I would agree those movies aren't classics. It is probably my least favorite time period of Disney. And then from 89 to 99 got the Disney Renaissance. And then from 2000 to 2008 we got, in my opinion, called the Experimental Age. Now that's when, Disney Renaissance is very much the form of the Disney Golden Age. And Disney, the thing about what, and don't worry, I actually like the movies of the Experimental Age too, like Brother Bear and Atlantis, and Emperor's New Groove is a classic in my opinion. That's one of the funniest movies, probably the funniest Disney movie. That movie's hilarious. But that time period was very experimental, and that's what kind of, in my opinion, kind of made Disney go down. And I love those movies. I think those movies are underrated, but from a business standpoint, they're not going to do nearly as successful as something, in America anyway, as something like, Beauty and the Beast. In American animation, we love musicals. Smooth, bright colors. Form. The princess form, great music and memorable characters. Not to say that those ones don't, but those movies were more experimental. They weren't musicals. They weren't um, based on fairy tales. Like they felt kind of like they're trying to be like Miyazaki movies, like anime, like Treasure Planet. Like that movie kind of feels like something anime would do, and also Atlantis. Like it's Disney got kind of experimental. Like I could see something like that doing really well in Japan because and I think that's what America was trying to do, kind of doing anime type movies. But that's when kind of hand drawn animation died, and then we got the revival era, which spans 2009 to present. Now the revival era started with Princess and the Frog, and it's going to me. I heard Mona is excellent, but some people actually prefer this over the Disney Renaissance. It's kind of returned to form, with the exception of Winnie the Pooh and Princess of the Frog. It's all CGI, but I like this era. I mean, it's got Frozen and all that, so Disney, since like it's kind of a revival because in the 2010s, since after Toy Story 3, Disney's been kicking Pixar's butt. Like throughout the 2000s, Pixar was just, oh man, like it was like Pixar to Disney was very much like the equivalent of today Marvel versus DC. How Marvel was just smashing DC nowadays. Like back then, oh man, Pixar was, and in the 2010s, because I think Pixar again kind of is breaking the formula that they're successful with. Kind of, it's a hunger for more originality. Not, but Pixar was great at originality. But like what I mean by is they kind of became sequel factories in the 2010s, and the original stuff is well praised like Inside Out, but Pixar has very much gone kind of downhill business-wise. I like the movies of the 2010s, like Brave. I even kind of have a soft spot for Cars 2, even though I don't. I know it's not a good movie. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. But in this decade, it's weird that Disney is whooping Pixar's butt, like, bad. And who knows, probably in the 2020s, maybe Pixar will come back and start whooping Disney's butt again. The revival could be soon over. You never know. Like, the longest era of Disney is probably the Golden Age, would last for 30 years. But anyway, I want to focus on the Disney Renaissance. Now, the Disney Renaissance is composed of such films as The Little Mermaid, The Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback, Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan. Let's see, one, two. I don't know. I don't have patience to count it, but I'd say it's a good hunk of movies. This was during the kind of the height of Eisner era at Disney. Eisner kind of saved Disney because he got quality producers and animators. See, in the 80s, Disney was, like, this during the Dark Age, Disney was doing terrible. Like, so bad that they would come out with movies like once every 3 to 5 years. That's creepy. Thinking about it, a Disney animated feature only comes out 3 to 5 years. And what's interesting about the Dark Age Disney era movies and the Disney experimental age of the 2000s is during this time period, those like both in the 70s and in 2000s, Disney kind of focused more on live action. That's when they were doing good. Like in the 2000s, we had like Pirates of the Caribbean and National Treasure. Like those franchises were doing good for Disney. And also like in the the Dark Age, you had the Kurt Russell movies and the Love Bug. Like most of the memorable Disney movies of that time were live action. So they were kind of tanking. They almost went bankrupt. Some people even feared that they were going to get rid of the animation department. Disney would stop. And this fear caused Don Bluth, who was a really well-known Disney animator at that time, to take 11 animators start Don Bluth Productions, who made such movies as American Tail and uh, you know, and not Five Goes West, Secret of Nim. And hold on one sec, let me pause, interlude. Sorry about that. My battery's almost out, and I said so much I didn't want to start over. So Don Bluth started Don Bluth Productions, and they were like the DreamWorks of the 80s. They produced quality stuff. And this kind of inspired Disney to up their animation game, because Don Bluth proved that animation still has a market. And so Eisner came on and Frank Wells came on as kind of the heads of Disney, because from Paramount, because they were doing well. Like Paramount was making quality TV shows like Happy Days and Taxi. So they're like, we need this guy for our animation. So they got those two guys, and they kind of focused more on what Disney did right in the golden age, musicals, fairy tales. And so, and plus the animation department needed to get more inspiration, so the Touchstone started. Touchstone made Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now Touchstone is more of Disney's like adult stuff, like Con Air and The Rock. They make and like Pretty Women. They make more of the films aimed at adults, but they're Disney actually. Believe it or not, Touchstone is actually Disney. But anyway, they made a movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is kind of it's kind of an edgier kids movie, but still kind of a kids movie. But that inspired animation and live action. That was a huge success. Produced by Steven Spielberg and directed by Robert Zemeckis. So they had the same crew from Back to the Future doing Roger Rabbit, and it was a huge success that it got the animation department's confidence. Now this led to them making The Little Mermaid. Now we're on to our first film of the Disney Renaissance, The Little Mermaid. I love this movie. It's again a return to formula. It's got the great, smooth lines and that, you would see from like movies like Snow White or Pinocchio. It's got great music by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. Rest in peace, Howard Ashman. That guy was a great lyricist. And it's got it's a back to fairy tale form. I like The Little Mermaid. The characters are really cool. I like Scuttle. I like King Triton. He's kind of the way they animate him is kind of funny. He's kind of like this big buff dude, but he's the king. He's like a mer dude, but the way they animate his looks when he's talking to, what's that crab's name? I forget the crab. Sebastian? Yeah, Sebastian. When he's talking to Sebastian, like, Triton and Sebastian have great chemistry together. But like he's like getting really close to Sebastian when he's talking about Ariel. And it's hilarious. So I guess I should go over the plot of the movie. That'll make it a little bit more easier to talk about. If you haven't seen it, the movie pretty much is this little mermaid. She's like, this teenage mermaid, who feels like her father and everyone who lives in the sea don't understand her. She's fascinated with the the above air, the land. She's fascinated with the life on the land, and she wants more. She thinks there's more to life on the land. She then falls in love with this prince. I'm pretty sure this movie takes place in like Denmarkish area. I don't know. And so she falls in love with this prince, and she wants you know, wants to be with this prince who lives on land, and so she makes a deal with the sea witch, and the sea witch says that if you don't kiss him within 3 days, not only will you turn back to being a mermaid, but you'll belong to me, and also the catch is I'm taking away your voice. So, and it's pretty much this time she's trying to get the prince to fall in love and kiss, and it's got a great happy ending. I won't spoil it, but that's the basic synopsis of the movie. Triton, you know, is the dad that doesn't understand daughter, you know, that trope, you know, parents don't understand, man. But she doesn't talk like a surfer dude, but, yeah, but it's a nice, charming movie. It's got, you know, likable characters, like I said. Ursula is a great villain. She's very much like Hades. She's kind of like a fast talker. The prince is kind of bland, but at least he has a little bit more personality to him than, like, the guy from Sleeping Beauty, or Snow White, who only showed up for, like, what, 2 minutes of the movie. But anyway, so at least he's got personality, but he's still kind of a bland dude. Disney, I think, got better in the Renaissance later, portraying boys, because that's, in, like, fairy tales, it's a thing that, unless it's like a side character, the male love interest is always bland as heck. Another thing I don't really like about this movie, another cliche, is the parent that doesn't understand trope. It's kind of done to death, and it's kind of, I don't get joy from watching it. And also, I don't like the message too much of this movie, because Ariel's 16, and it's, you know, promoting her to go out and get, you know, it's kind of a weird message to send to young females. I'm saying, but that's the only things I don't have gripes with. Little Mermaid, believe it or not, might be my least favorite film of the Renaissance. I don't hate it, but I find it charming. I appreciate it for starting off this era. It's just got some cliches. I'm like, eh. But other than that, I like it pretty well. You know, it's very, very, like I said, smooth animation, great music, and you know, it tells a pretty compelling story. It's a small story, but it's very compelling. It's got a great climax at the end where the prince is battling the sea witch. So I should probably just say there's spoilers for these movies, so just kind of turn them off. But I think I like The Little Mermaid quite a bit. It's a great, you know, Disney movie, but, you know, it does have some cliches, and I think and also, the message I don't like. A lot of people have a problem with, you know, she gets whatever she wants. She doesn't learn anything. It actually doesn't bother me. I think she does learn something. I think it's not really about her learning something as much as I think is the father, Triton, learning something. He learns that, you know, you gotta sometimes act in your children's best interest. I don't think that's a bad message. The bad message, I think, is they made Ariel way too young. They should have made her around, like, early 20s. I don't know. By making her a child and the way they animate, and she's animated nice. Everyone in this movie is animated nice, but she doesn't look 16. That's kind of creepy, Disney. I just don't like that message. You know, that's not right to display for the young girls, I think. But that's just me. I'm kind of a conservative dude. But anyway, yeah, I give that movie a good 8 out of 10. You know, it's got charming characters. It's a charming story. It's kind of a small story. I love the music. I love the animation. I recommend it. It started the era. Now, let's go on to the next one. This one is kind of the black sheep of the Disney Renaissance, but I think it deserves to be in it. It's The Rescuers Down Under. I like this movie quite a bit. The first Rescuers movie I thought was okay. The first Rescuers movie was a Dark Age Disney movie. And I thought it was okay. It was kind of a small story. It's kind of a time waster for kids, but it's kind of fun at the same time. But this movie is good. It's like an Indiana Jones movie. It's the Indiana Jones movie of Disney movies. Now that Disney owns Indiana Jones, that's kind of He really didn't by saying. But anyway, yeah, it's a good cartoon. So I guess the synopsis is there's this boy in Australia who he's kind of like, you know, friends with all these animals in Australia, and he befriends this mother eagle who protects her you know, her young, her birds. And this eagle is huge. This eagle is like the size of an airplane. No, not that big. I'd say he's the size of like he's the size of a car at least. This bird is huge. Um, but anyway, this bird, you know, he befriends this bird, and this this eagle, and he has to protect her young. And the thing is, there's this poacher after this bird named McLeach, played by George C. Scott, the late great George C. Scott, who did Patton. That's a movie I might talk about later on this YouTube channel. But he's a great. I don't know if he's done more voiceover work, but I would like to see it because he's good as the villain in this movie. He's this poacher who wants this eagle because it's a giant gold eagle, and the feather, and it's like really valuable. He already got the dad eagle. Now he wants the mother eagle. I think he said like the mother is much bigger than the dad. I don't know. I can't remember that part of the movie. But, you know, so this boy bumps into the poacher who's trying to catch the bird, and he finds that the boy has been around the eagle because he finds the gold feather on him. And so he pretty much kidnaps the boy, and he's trying to get out of the boy where the eagle is. He has kind of like this iguanodon sidekick who's funny named Joanna. And so this message gets across all over the animal community that this boy is kidnapped, and that pretty much this gets to the rescuers, these two mice in New York, that they think these animals go around helping, I guess, kids from being kidnapped kids, you know, rescuing them. It's kind of like in the first movie they had to rescue this little girl. But in this movie they have to travel to Australia and try to rescue the mice. The two mice have to try to rescue the boy from this poacher. And meanwhile, you know, the I can't remember his name. The boy mouse. Hold on, let me look up the mouse.